Cadillac, they're debuting two new drivers, and they're debuting in F1 for the first time. They're doing, long campaigns of like announcing Bottas and Perez as like their drivers. They just announced Zhou Guanzhou as like one of their reserve drivers. But the one that I want to highlight is that they're going to do the Hot Ones, the show on YouTube. And they're going to be competing against each other, which I thought was like a brilliant way to kind of start it off of like,
Yeah.
hey, we're already going to start competing against each other, right?
Versus.
He's my teammate on and off, the track, and I thought it was also a great way for like Cadillac to introduce themselves to that younger audience that doesn't necessarily pay attention to F1 yet. They know that they have to go to like these new like outlets like podcasts, YouTube channels in order to get in front of the people that don't pay attention to the news or that aren't paying attention on social media. It's now you have to go to these outlets, right? We saw that with Leonardo DiCaprio going on like the New Heights podcast with, Jason and Travis Kelce in order to promote his movie, One Battle After Another. He'd never done that before, and so it's just showing that all these like new outlets are kind of getting you more attention than just going on, the press circuit. Obviously, they've already announced through all like the regular like F1 and like motorsport magazines. And now it's like, okay, well, what else can we do? And I think it was a really interesting thing to like also see that like Cadillac as like it's not the first American company. Haas is technically an American company, but it's not really putting itself out there as like gung-ho America rah rah rah. I think it's like brilliant that like Cadillac is going the American route. Let's go talk to like American influencers in order to get our drivers in front of them. Maybe some of you will remember Lewis Hamilton was on Hot Ones last year. I think it also shows that Cadillac and then Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez are really putting more of their personality on display, a lot more than they'd ever been able to do. Mercedes for Bottas and then Red Bull for Perez. So it's like signifying like a new age for them. But then also like it's showing, I think, that Cadillac is giving them the chance to like highlight their own personalities and be like brand ambassadors to Cadillac. So I thought it was like really fun. Did you see this? I know you might have seen like Hot Ones, but maybe not the F1 ones.
I haven't seen that, but I do believe there's obviously such a personalized identity culture around F1. Everyone has like their favorite driver, and so I think it's very smart to use this. It's a great humanizing technique. And I love those kind of videos. I mean, they're kind of all born from the BuzzFeed of it all, but I absolutely love Hot Ones. So I think it's incredibly smart.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be a BuzzFeed show, right? Hot Ones.
I don't know if it was it used to be with Complex.
Sorry, I looked it up, and BuzzFeed did own Hot Ones, and they sold them last year for 82.5 million. So,
but it makes sense. It feels kind of BuzzFeedy.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing BuzzFeed on it. I just remember it saying like Complex, but that was probably their big sponsor.
Yeah, it might have been.
But it does feel very much like the kind of content that BuzzFeed kind of started on the internet.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so a couple stats here to share. So Hot One averages 5 to 10 million views per episode on YouTube, which is wild to think about. And then
the Conan O'Brien one, if you're listening and you've not seen the Conan O'Brien Hot Ones,
I saw some of the videos on.
Stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
It is perfect. It is the funniest thing on the internet. And I know that sounds hyperbolic, but it absolutely, like, Conan O'Brien Hot Ones, like, do yourself a favor. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I saw some snippets on Twitter, but I haven't watched the whole thing. I should go do that.
You will be howling. You'll be crying. You'll be laughing so hard. It's so funny. So funny.
Yeah, I mean, Conan's on a whole other level. Side thing here, because it was such a good story. But the story about him talking to Will Arnett about his parents dying and like, the whole thing that we've been talking about here is just like that infusing humor into how you talk to other people can get you so much more than like trying to like not talk about it or to ignore that, like, your friend just went through this like huge thing. Anyway, if you haven't seen the video, look it up. Conan O'Brien talking to Will Arnett about Jason Bateman killing his parents.
Yes.
Anyway, so back to the stats. So Cadillac is really trying to, grow their US F1 viewership. This is coming after the rise in popularity of Drive to Survive. And they're, really trying to grow the American fan base. And it's not just Cadillac. We're seeing that F1 in general is trying to do that. They, sold to Apple last year. So we're going to, have them there. We're going to see what they're going to start doing there in order to kind of start appealing a little bit more to American viewers. Okay. So a couple of insights here is like, go to where your audience is, right? The F1 knows that the American viewership is not quite there yet. Where do Americans go? Where do young people go? Let's go to YouTube. Personality beats credentials. They're using their drivers to kind of like use their personalities to shine back to like, Cadillac. I don't know if you saw it, but Bottas announced, it was like a Happy New Year. He was wearing a like American Speedo with like the bald eagle right on his crotch. And so it's like really showing that he's bringing his personality and he's allowed to do, like allowed, right? Like they're allowing him to do this at Cadillac, where he never would have been able to do that at Mercedes, right? So it's like really showing kind of that difference of like who he is, and like, he's basically allowed to be free. He's also really taking on a lot of like that gung ho America like spirit, which I think actually really works for him and for the Cadillac brand. And then the last one is what I've kind of recommended here before, where we're gonna start seeing people go to like podcasts and like these influencers a lot more than just traditional press. We've seen the rise of TBPN in the tech world because people just want to have fun. I think that like these influencer formats are things that we're going to be seeing people participate in more, like we saw with Leonardo DiCaprio and like the New Heights podcast. We'll probably start seeing a lot more celebrities on that podcast, especially since Travis Kelce announced that he's retiring, right?